Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Polio XIV has rounded up his historic visit to Cameroon's economic and most popular city, Douala. The mass at the Japoma sports complex brought together over 120,000 Christians who say it was a once-in-a-lifetime activity and an opportunity for them to meet with His Holiness Polio XIV. Also in this edition of the news, the people of Japoma and Equinoxe subdivisions, that of the Njan division in the southwest region, say that they are dissatisfied with the difficulties they face getting to their municipalities from other parts of the country. They are declaring the deplorable state of the road linking these administrative units to the rest of Cameroon. These stories and more will be yours in this edition of the news. Welcome to the Primetime Newscast on Equinoxe. Now, the visit of Pope Leo XIV to the St. Paul and Peter's, that's St. Paul's Catholic Church in the Nilon neighborhood of the city of Douala, sparks great joy and hope for healing for the sick and, of course, peace for all those who gathered. He was welcomed in the premises of the hospital facility in Douala by Littoral Regional Governor Samuel Diodone Ivahadzibwa, the administration of the hospital, and a handful of Catholic Christians and other Cameroonians who came en masse to welcome the Holy Father after a highly awaited or highly attended pontifical mass at the Japoma Sports Complex. Now, Babila Jonathan takes us on his presence at the St. Paul's Catholic Hospital in Nilon.
On a private visit to the St. Paul Catholic Hospital in Nilong in Douala, Pope Leo XIV's presence went beyond praise and worship to God and fellowship with people afflicted with sickness to trigger a demand for peace. We want peace, we want peace, we want peace. Like her, many chanted the peace request in the hope that the Pope's visit will bring peace and healing to the sick at the St. Paul Catholic Hospital in Nilong, to all Cameroonians and to the nation as a whole.
I'm very privileged to see the Pope here in Douala. I'm an IDP from Bamenda. I hope the Pope has come and things are going to change for the better of Cameroon, Northwest, Southwest. As soon as this struggle started, we have been here in Douala. We left the war in Bamenda. We came here to see the Pope. And we hope that the Pope has come with some God's grace in our lives.
To many of them, seeing the Pope is a miracle, and they believe God has blessed them through his servant.
I am origin from the Northwest region. I was not opportunity to be in the Northwest. It's a privilege. The last pontiff I received, I saw when I was just 6 years old in Bamenda, 1985. That was Pope John Paul II. My father took me to the airport. And it's a privilege for me to come here and with my family, with my children, to receive Pope Leo XIV. I'm blessed. I'm totally blessed. My family is blessed.
I saw him directly. I woke up this morning at 8. And directly I'd have a bath, and then around here to see the Pope. I stay on the shine since till now, 2 p.m. in the evening, waiting the Pope. I have the pleasure. I'm joyful. I finally saw the Pope, and it is a great peace the Pope brings in Cameroon. The head of state, Excellency Paul, we have a special idea. Invited the Highness here in Cameroon to deliver message of peace, to gather all the population and magnify living together. Pope have a everlasting peace, love, and everlasting grace, and all the population that saw the Pope, you all, you are blessed.
After the Pope's departure from the St. Paul Catholic Hospital in Nilong, they are going back home filled with joy.
J'ai fait le selfie avec le pape. J'ai fait le selfie avec le pape. J'ai vu le pape.
And before his presence at the St. Paul Catholic Hospital, Nilong, and the Japoma Sports Complex, the Holy Father was received amidst joy and fanfare at the Douala International Airport, where men, women, children gathered to receive the Holy Father. Babla Jonathan was there and once again has got the following reports for you and I.
After the Ita Airways plane carrying Polio XIV landed at the Douala International Airport, the global leader of the Catholic Church ahead of the Vatican was welcomed by the Minister of Territorial Administration Atanganji Paul, the Governor of the Littoral Region Samuel Dedoni Vaha Dibois, the Archbishop of the Douala Metropolitan Archdiocese, His Grace Samuel Cleda, other authorities and Catholic faithful who turned out in their numbers to welcome the Pope. It was a great moment of joy for the Catholic faithful, even though many of them perceived the Pope from a distance. They went celebrating, thanking God for having seen Pope Leo XIV. Then the convoy took off for the Japoma Stadium Esplanade.
Babla Jonathan, who was on special assignment today in the city of Douala. Now we move out of the city of Douala to say that history and hope converge at the Bamenda airport, that's in the northwest region, as Polio landed at a long-abandoned Bamenda airport and moved through some of the streets that were once no-go areas within the context of the conflict that is hitting the two English-speaking northwest and southwest regions. The people are hopeful that his presence in their land will bring lasting peace. Their views are compiled by Mustela in the following report.
It was a moment many thought they might never witness. The Holy Father, Polio XIV, touched down at the Bamenda airport, an airstrip that has sat in near silence for almost a decade, its runways once overtaken by neglect and the shadows of conflict, but today that silence was broken. The Pope's convoy then rolled into the city, passing through Chobo Junction, a place whose name had over the years become synonymous with tragedy, widespread amongst residents as a site where lifeless bodies were once abandoned. Further, along the hospital roundabout, another location long marked by fear and violence, the mood had shifted. The roads were lined by men, women and children, with their faces lit not by grief, but by cautious hope. Songs, prayers and waves followed the moving convoy as if the city itself was exhaling after years of tension.
We all were running up and down. I myself, that same day was in the night, so I was shot. But thank God, today I'm alive.
As his feet will touch Bamenda, all the evil here will be completely wiped up.
We need more peace, and with the sick, but we need, as we come here today, Papa God will heal we today as the kingdom comes today for Cathedral. So heal we in the name of Jesus.
The Pope has come to preach peace, and we pray for peace.
Today I'm very excited to see him, even to touch him, to hold him, because this is the first that I've ever seen him in real life. So I want him to bless me.
In his brief but symbolic visit, Polio XIV met with selected voices of the population, listening to stories shaped by nearly 10 years of conflict. Both separatist groups and the government of Cameroon continue to claim efforts towards peace, yet for many here in Bamenda, peace has remained distant. As the Holy Father departs, what lingers is not just the memory of his presence, but an urgent hope that his message will echo beyond today, reaching ears willing to listen and hearts ready to act for peace.
Catholic Christians and top stories, thousands of Christians today gathered at the Japoma Sports Complex for the pontifical mass of Pope Leo XIV in his historic visit to Cameroon's most populous and economic capital city, Douala. The Christians who gathered said that it was a great moment in their Christian lives and a once-in-a-lifetime honor and opportunity to meet the Holy Father. Staff Lady Anna Pila was at the Japoma Sports Complex on special assignment. Her report.
Catholic Christians and non-Catholics alike shout for joy upon the arrival of Pope Leo XIV at the Japoma Stadium in Douala.
The Holy Father Pope Leo XIV has just arrived here at the Japoma Stadium, and you can see the euphoria, the excitement from all those present here at the Japoma Stadium, welcoming the Holy Father Pope Leo XIV. And it's such a very exciting moment, a very spiritual moment.
A moment of joy and excitement.
I feel so well, I feel so grateful, I feel blessed. It's something that happens once in the life of somebody, of a Christian, that this new Pope, Pope Leon, chose Cameroon to visit us. He knows our problems as if he usually lives with us. We are so grateful. Today he talks to the youth and he talks to the leaders. May all what he has said enter the heart of all Cameroonians so that something should change, something to happen, something to be done to Cameroon, that our country should be developed, that youth should change the mentalities and all the rest. I wish him the best, that he should go. I wish you welfare, Father Pope Leon. We are so grateful, we are so happy.
The scorching sun wasn't an impediment to the Christians poised and ready for the Holy Father's Eucharistic celebration. Most of them say they feel highly blessed and favored as they meet with the successor of St. Peter live and direct.
This is a great day for us here in Douala. Let's say in the Archdiocese of Douala, that is Road West, Littoral, and most of the division here. I think this is a great day for us because it is not every day that we have the opportunity to have the visit of a Pope. I myself am grateful because I did my first visit in 1985 when I was still a student in Yaoundé, University of Yaoundé, Pope John Paul II. So today I'm 65 years old. I can say that I have been blessed by God, because this is the first time I had the opportunity to attend a mass presided by a Pope. So I'm a blessed man today.
Even children were conspicuously present at the Japoma Stadium. Those present in Douala expressed feelings of fulfillment and better days ahead for the country.
And as a Christian in the Catholic Church, I'm very, very delighted. I believe that all the grace that you brought from Rome, I'll take it by my family, I shall be blessed, and entire Cameroon is blessed, and I believe that all of us who participate in the Holy Mass have received graces and we will be blessed.
The Holy Father, in his simplicity yet straightforwardness, reiterated the importance of prioritizing the place of young people in the society.
In Cameroon, and especially in Bamenda, and his words and all the actions, I believe and I pray that all the Cameroonians will join together and pray for peace and seek for peace and put in action.
The Mass at the Japoma Stadium was concelebrated by over 50 bishops and archbishops and even cardinals from all the ecclesiastical province of Cameroon and even beyond, plus over 300 priests and religious in attendance.
And Pope Leo XIV's visit to Cameroon is also dominating the global headlines from his arrival in Yaoundé to the visit to Bamenda in the northwest region and then the city of Douala today. International media organs are following keenly what's happening in Cameroon and step by step, as well as keen to the message of the Holy Father. Immaculate Folk will capture some of the international media headlines for you and I.
The Pope's visit to Cameroon is making waves globally, with top international media outlets dissecting every aspect of his trip. RFE describes it as a highly anticipated visit in a country grappling with tensions, particularly the ongoing Anglophone crisis. The paper highlights Pope Leo's disgust against bloodshed and manipulation of religion for political, economic and military gain. BBC echoes this sentiment, highlighting the Pope's strong appeal for peace amid persistent security challenges. France 24 and Euronews underscore the Pope's bold political stance, with him pushing for more just governance and anti-corruption efforts while slashing tyrants ravaging the world. AFP and other agencies put a spotlight on the sensitive context of his visit, with violence in Anglophone regions and the country's struggle with poverty and corruption. Vatican News, on the other hand, focuses on cultural diversity as the Pope celebrates Mass with a well-crafted chasuble decorated with a Bamenda toga fabric. It equally talked about the spiritual dimension, calling it a moment of communion and renewal for the nation. The visit has attracted hundreds of journalists and unprecedented global attention, blending faith, politics and diplomacy in a unique way. The Pope's message of peace, justice and forgiveness resonates deeply in Cameroon, a country marked by conflict and division.
And the message of peace, justice and forgiveness also re-echoes in the form of development as Cameroonians in several parts continue to air their worries. The case in point is that of Equinoxe Titi and Dikome all administrative units of the Indian Division in the southwest region of Cameroon. The local inhabitants who are voicing dissatisfaction over difficulties which they face in getting back to their administrative units anytime they visit other parts of Cameroon. The most reliable access route to Equinoxe Titi and Dikome, which is through the sea, also requires bravery. They say that the road linking these parts of the southwest region to the rest of the country is highly deplorable. Their worries are compared by Rexaphone in Boya.
Traveling to Equinoxe Titi, the chief town of the Equinoxe Titi subdivision, requires two things: either the bravery to face the waves of the sea, or the patience and courage to endure the hurdles of bad roads.
The inhabitants of this area have cried that they have seemingly been cut off from a majority of the areas of the Indian Division and by extension the southwest region.
We have bad roads in our villages. That means everywhere is very bad. Seriousness, really, at least we need things from the subdivision. We need things, we need roads, good roads.
Our roads is a dire necessity for us because you can imagine that in the month of April we are already paying 10,000 francs to go to Kumba because of the bad nature of the road, and it makes crops to live here to go to Kumba and Douala. It's very difficult. You know, going by the water is expensive, and if we use the water, we don't see the profit. So if the government could hasten up with the ongoing works at the road there, Kumba Equinoxe Titi, it's going to be a good booster for us. Also, even the road link to the divisional headquarters Mundemba is a nightmare. It's a nightmare. You imagine that you leave Equinoxe Titi to Mundemba, it's a whole 12-hour journey. And how do you expect the population to access administrative units there in Mundemba?
Once in the town, the absence of basic social amenities becomes immediately evident. Poles that once carried electricity cables are down, and the cables themselves lie helplessly on the ground.
This crisis has made things very difficult for us. Currently, for the past 5-6 years, we don't have electricity here because it was destroyed. We got good news that the government has given out a project to reinstate a new year, which we were happy last year, but we are still waiting to see the physical realization of it. Even though we have been seeing poles coming in and out, but what we really expect is not really there. That notwithstanding, we have a solar installation, which is ongoing along some streets in Equinoxe Titi, even though it does not cover the whole town, the whole municipality.
This community, blessed with fertile soil, has in the past been an epicenter of separatist activities. Though a relative calm now prevails, development here still seems to remain at a standstill.
And some of these problems were presented to the Public Independent Conciliator of the Southwest Region during a town hall meeting in Equinoxe Titi, chief town of the Equinoxe Titi subdivision. The meeting was an opportunity for councillors of Equinoxe Titi and Dikome to present the staggering underdevelopmental challenges they are facing, as outlined in that report by Rexaphone from Boya. Now, we will also be getting the reaction of officials of the Office of the Public Independent Conciliator of the Southwest Region in the following report.
The Equinoxe Titi and Dikome municipalities, both in the Indian Division, have suffered greatly due to the armed conflict. During a town hall meeting with representatives of the Office of the Public Independent Conciliator for the Southwest Region in Equinoxe Titi, Residents openly shared their daily struggles.
The meeting was interactive. The people had an opportunity to understand what the Office of the Public Independent Consultator for the Southwest region is all about, and also to understand the missions. They also had an opportunity to expose some of the worries they face in relation to their interaction with their various councils of Equinoxe and Equinoxe respectively. Some of the issues were regarding the responsibilities and obligations of the citizens. For example, we saw one of the participants complaining about the slaughterhouse, complaining about the space, and also the fact that it wasn't airy enough for the accommodation of the Equinoxe.
The mayor of Ekondotiti noted that many of these issues had not been brought to her attention before, but she is pleased they are now on her radar.
Speak has come here today, then I'm so delighted because they've come to lessen some of those questions that were in the minds of the people, which had never come to us, but today, because they were here, they had to open up.
For Dikomebalwe, where roads remain the principal challenge, the council says it is working diligently to address them.
For the budget of 2026, we had projects for 70 million francs on bridges. As per now, we are concentrating on bridge construction because our area is prone with mountain waters that causes floods to wash away our bridges. So now we are concentrating on hydraulic structures.
Town hall meetings like this provide municipal executives with first-hand insight into local realities. They also offer an opportunity to inform residents about the mission of the Office of a Public Independent Conciliator established under the special status.
I will come back to the city of Douala this time around, maybe to talk health, to say that health authorities in Cameroon are launching the first round of poliomyelitis vaccination campaign targeting children below the ages of 5 in high-risk zones and areas amid renewed fears of virus circulation. The exercise to run from April 24th to April 23rd to April 26th, 2026 aims to rapidly boost immunity and close gaps in the routine immunization, especially in vulnerable areas of the country. Our reporter on that beat is Innocent Naze.
From the far north to the north, including the Adamawa, East, Central and Littoral regions, health authorities are stepping up efforts to halt the spread of poliomyelitis, still a persistent threat in border communities and areas with low routine immunization coverage. Public health authorities in the Littoral region and across the 5 other high-risk regions are gearing up for round 1 of a mass vaccination campaign scheduled from April 23rd to the 26th.
This campaign is coming up because we have detected polio cases at the level of countries that share boundaries with Cameroon. That's around countries of the Lake Chad Basin. As well as at the level of the country, a few months back, we also detected cases of polio. And you know, a single case of polio is tantamount to an outbreak or to an epidemic.
Poliomyelitis, commonly known as polio, is a highly infectious viral disease that primarily affects young children. It attacks the nervous system and in severe cases can lead to irreversible paralysis or even death.
It's a vaccination campaign that targets children from 0 to 59 months. Children from 0 to 5 years. And at the level of the littoral region, we have a target of almost about 664,000 children that we are supposed to vaccinate.
To ensure maximum coverage, health workers will adopt a door-to-door strategy, administering oral polio vaccine drops directly to children.
Our vaccination is not only limited at the level of the health facilities, but also at the level of schools, churches, and any other place around the community where people are gathered. Will be able to mount our vaccination posts at that level. But the most effective strategy is door-to-door. It means our teams will be able to move from one household to another to make sure that the parents are informed before the teams can pass by.
Despite progress recorded in recent campaigns, authorities say misinformation and lack of awareness remain the leading causes of vaccine refusal. Community mobilizers are therefore intensifying sensitization efforts to ensure at least 95% of parents are informed before vaccination teams arrive. Health officials insist that
besides the other preventive measures that we implement, vaccination is the most effective method to be able to prevent diseases, especially polio.
Public health officials emphasize that polio is entirely preventable, with global cases reduced by 99% since 1988. The one that every missed child remains a risk, making this campaign a race to protect every last child.
And on to this interesting story, Cameroon's Professional Football League will be back on stage this weekend with Elite One matches to be played after days of rest for players and officials of different football clubs in the country. Within the second phase of this important football competition or league in Cameroon, teams will be playing, some for survival and others fighting to grab a ticket amongst the top three on the classification table. Now, we have just had it will be taking a shape and form with some fixtures already known. The fixtures outlined in the following report by sportsman Simat Jikan Gabriel.
After some days of rest, the Elite One Championship will make its comeback the weekend of Sunday, April 18, 2026. According to the program put up by the transitional body in charge of professional football, 2 matches will be keenly followed at the Municipal Stadium of Melon. The first encounter will see Stade Renard clashing against visitors Canon Sportif of Yaoundé, while Aigle Royal of Mongo will have a mountain to climb when they host Gazelle FA from Garoua at the Bamenda Stadium. Champions of the first phase of the league, Unisport of Bafang, will defend their honorary title when they host Aigle Royal of Menua in a West Regional derby. Football fans will have 2 games to follow at the Omnisport Stadium in Yaoundé. In the first game, AS Fortuna will offer its hospitality to visiting Dynamo from Douala, while at 4 p.m. on the same field, the top game of Match Day 14 will see Colombe Sportif of Janelobo challenge a no-nonsense and second-place club, Coton Sport of Garoua, managed by current Lions coach Pagu David. PWD of Bamenda will start the second phase with a huge game against sister club Victoria United at the Proximity Stadium. The PWD of Bamenda versus Victoria United game will definitely pull much attention because their confrontation in the first phase ended with a lot of attention and irregularities, with PWD of Bamenda claiming Victoria United had support from the referee after the Limbe-based club trashed them by 3-0, all from penalty spot. As the second phase of the Elite One Championship kicks off, the first phase had 91 games played and 207 goals were scored, giving us an average 2.7 goals scored per match. The highest goals in a single game was scored on Match Day 5 during the Canon Sportif of Yaoundé versus Unisport of Bafang encounter. It ended in favor of Unisport 4-3. 15 red cards were given out, with Canon of Yaoundé taking 4 of them, while 38 penalties were also awarded. Out of the 38 penalties, 32 were scored and 6 were missed. 9 of the 38 penalties were given on Match Day 5.
Interesting sports reports bringing us to the end of this edition of News on Equinoxe. We thank you for your keen attention, urging you to stay in the company of interesting programs on Equinoxe. Don't go away, it's not all for news. At 8 p.m. you shall have a full edition that will be in the French language. More news will be on Equinoxe tomorrow, Saturday at midday, then at 8 p.m. all bilingual, French and English. As for me, I will take leave of you, wishing you all a nice weekend, a beautiful stay. Goodbye.